Hey everyone, this is a highly edited version of my live stream that I do on Twitch. This is usually on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 2:30 to 4:30 EST. So if you enjoy my tutorial content, you'll love my live streams. It's very much the same kind of thing, but in a real world scenario where you get to see me make mistakes, get frustrated, and all those things that regular developers do. Now you may find there's bits and pieces that feel a bit choppy, and that's because I removed content that didn't really relate to Remix when chatting with the chat. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll be uploading all our VODs going forward in this edited format. Until next time, see ya! So we have just created the Remix basics. We have a root JSX. We're going to make a new route that renders to post URL, but before do, let's make a link to it. Add a new link to the app root. Okay. We're going to make a new route that renders to /post URL, but let's do this. Add this link to the posts in. Oh, okay. Let's first import link from Remix. Thank you. Yep, it's a pretty good accent. Funnily enough, I've had it my whole life. All right, let's see. We'll copy this, and I'm a bit confused on where they expect this to go. So I'm just gonna do what it says here, which is kind of weird, but it says you can put it anywhere you like, but you might want to just delete everything that was in there. So I'm just going to leave the head there. I'm just going to delete everything in the body and drop this link in and hit save. Back to the browser, go ahead and click it. You should see a 404. 404 not found. Perfect. Good start. Create a new file in this. All right, let me just make directory app/route/posts. Sorry, is there not one there already? Okay, I'll just make it myself this way. Posts, and then inside of that we need a index.jsx. We could have just named it post.tsx, but we have another route soon, and it will be nicely to put them by each other. An index route will render as at the folder's path, just like index.html on the web server. You'll probably see screen go blank with null. You've got a route, but there's nothing there yet. Let's add a component and export it as the default. So this is just like every other language, in the React space at least. Default function posts return a div and then h1 posts. You might need to refresh the browser to see the new route. All right, hold on. Boop. Is that what I expected to happen? I don't know. I actually expected to see this. Surely. MIMS. It feels like it. Did I do something wrong? Make directory /posts in routes. Yep. Then in here, make an index.jsx. Yep. Oh, hold on. You might need to refresh. Nope. So either I've done something completely wrong, which is possible, or I don't understand. Oh, so many people following. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's a new year. It's a new me. It's the same guy, just a different day of the week. All right. I'm just going to assume that this is working as expected, and we'll find out in a second when I get to the loader page. Maybe I'm just crazy. So we need to import this use loader data from Remix. And so I assume this just loads data from wherever. Thanks for following, really appreciate it. Okay, let's try doing this in our code. Outside of here, we'll do an export. Man, how's everybody's day going? It is wild to think we're in 2022. Just like 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, man, I can't believe it's 2021. And then that slipped away, and here we are. My first post. Oh, don't say things like only 3 years until 2025. That's like saying only 3 years and I'll be 36. And I'll be closer to 40 than I was. And I don't need that image in my head. I still think I'm 25. But I'll always be younger than my wife. So I always have that under my hat. I still feel like I'm 15. Yeah, see? Yeah, I feel like that too. You know, some days I don't. There's occasionals where I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm really old. But other days, not so much. There's a point in your life when you get in your 30s where apparently you start to realize that someday you're going to die. So there's always that. Good times. Okay. If I go here, I'm pretty sure I did something wrong. So I think I messed something up already. I've only been coding for like 10 seconds. I don't understand how I've messed this up. Because I have routes here, which goes to posts. And then inside of that, I have an index.jsx. I know it says tsx here, but I don't think it really matters. And if I go here, nothing happens. Nothing happens, guys. Interesting. Man, I'm just breaking everything. All right, let's just try running this again. Oh, you know what? I bet. I bet. Now look at that. Oh, so much irony in that. So if anyone from Remix is watching, maybe don't say delete everything, because nobody knows what any of that means. Yeah, but apart from that, we're moving on. Loaders are backend APIs for their components, and it's already wired up for you to use loader data. It's a little wild how blurry the lines between client and server in Remix route. If you have a server and a browser console both open, you'll note that both logged are post data. That's because Remix renders on the server to send a full HTML document like a traditional web framework, but it's also hydrated into the client and logged there. Okay, so SSR at its finest. And then underneath our H1, we can create an unordered list and see what we do with that. And then list equal, oh no, hold on. We need to map posts.map post. And then list key equals post.slug. Man, I am hungry today. link to equals post.slug and then post.title. Man, this feels just like every tutorial I've written in the last years. Okay, so we don't have to do this because we don't actually care, because we're not using TypeScript, because the tutorial didn't tell me to, so just gonna assume. Okay, so that's all good. If we were using TypeScript, we just use types. And yeah, it's pretty cool so far. What is next? So a solid practice is to create a module that deals with a particular concern. In our case, it's going to be reading and writing posts. Let's set this up now. Let's add get post exports to our module. So in app, create something called post, and that's going to do the work. Got it. Post.jsx export function. Oh, I can just copy this code apparently. It's just this code. It's just this code. Almost. Well, let me grab this part because that's the longest part to write. And say export function get posts. And then const posts equals this. Now we can do import get posts from post. And then in our loader, we can now just do return get posts. And that should have the same effect. So let's see. Well, nothing broke. That's good. Let's just make sure by rerunning the dev server in case something gets caught up. I have faith in the team over at Remix. Yep, that works. Make a root directory folder called posts, and inside of that, we can make two files. My first post.md and 90s mixtape.md. That was probably my true favorite part, was doing forensics, which is a bit of biology and chemistry. And it was awesome. I went to a really different school than a lot of people. Like, I went to a school with technology, and like we did forensic science and some other stuff. So it was pretty new for the time in the early 2000s. So now we need to do an npm. Do npm add front matter. Now we've installed front matter, I probably need to restart this server because I imagine that's not going to work. Okay, so we can use path, promises, and front matter. Front matter being the one that we imported, the get post file. Okay. Hey, thanks for following. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Feel free to hop in the chat. Okay. So I need to get this. Okay. Get posts. We can now get rid of all of this and write new code, I suppose. So const directory equals await file server read directory posts path. Return promise dot all promises. Map async file name is then, so we're going to get the file name, then const file equals await read file. asynchronous. So like this part, so this defines, you gonna tell me? This is gonna basically make an asynchronous call versus synchronous, right? So let's do a little async versus synchronous JavaScript. Here's my favorite chart. Maybe. I'll accept your cookies. All right. So synchronous means that you do it one, like this has to go, then this has to go, then this has to go in this order. Like these means that like all this can happen at the same time. And so you can do multiple requests all at the same time. And it makes it really easy to do it all simultaneously versus this version where you have to do, like, I have to get everything from products, then customers can start, then orders can start, versus this version where customers and products can go together and then we can get our orders later, and it speeds up requests. Super useful. So we're going to await the read file, and then we're going to path.join posts path, comma, like when you do your shopping on a website. Elaborate. I'm not sure I follow the pattern. So that'll get our file. Then attributes. Then we're going to pass the front matter file to string, and then we're going to return this slug, which will be the name, but replace markdown. I'm not even going to write this regex. Just going to copy and paste it, and then the title will be attributes. Oh, okay, attributes.title. And I think I messed up somewhere. I've got to change this to async. And then file name dot replace. There. Dynamic route parameters. So now we need to make a $slug file in our posts. Okay. $slug.jsx. And then inside of that, we can copy this and drop it in here, and it's just going to be some posts. So if we go to localhost 3000, not that page, posts, and then click my first post, some post. All right, we're making progress here. So app routes posts slug tsx, aka JSX, for us. We can use that loader again, which will make a server-side call with hydration, which I like. Okay, so we're going to use loader data from Remix, and we're going to do essentially the same thing. Oh, I see what we're doing here. Okay, so we're going to pass in the slug from, I assume, our query parameter. And we're going to return the slug so we can read the data. So we can do const slug equals use loader data. And then we can throw our slug in here. And if I go to /posts and click my first post, sweet. The part of the file name attached to the dollar becomes a named key on the params object that comes into your loader. This is how we'll look up the blog post. So I don't have to worry about this because TypeScript. Now let's actually read the post from the file system, add a getPost function to our post module. Put this function anywhere in the apt post module, which is this file. So right now we have getPosts. So now we need to do getPost. So we're passing in the slug, which is a string, which I don't need this because it's TypeScript. And I don't need this part because TypeScript. And hit save. And then we can import that to our get into this slug. Import getPost from post. I mean, there is some stuff I like about this, and then there's some stuff that I'm like, I'm not sure if I like it yet. I'm still deciding. And then inside of here, we can do getPost params.slug, and then we can do post.title if we change this to post. Oh, I missed something up here. There's supposed to be a slash. Yeah, that works. Now we get my first post. And then if we go back a screen and click 90s mixtape, it should be 90s mixtape. Perfect. We're getting there. So now we're pulling data from the data source instead of including it all in the browser as JavaScript. We don't have to worry about invariants because we're not using TypeScript. But because params comes from the URL, we can't totally be sure that params.slug will be defined. Maybe you should change the name of the file to $. Maybe you change the name to $post_ts. Okay, it's good practice to validate the stuff with invariant, and it makes TypeScript happy too. All right, and now we can finally do some markdown parsing by using marked. So npm add at marked. Whew. So I'm still unsure. We'll see. I think it's on the list. I think it might make it on my list of fun stuff that I'll play with more. But we'll see. We'll see what the second tutorial brings, which is supposed to have a bit more in-depth. Cool, so we're using app/post, which is this. And we want to import marked from marked. You ever just get a bunch of emails and you're like, man, I'm super popular. And then you realize it's just the Pender bot being like, hey, buddy, here's some stuff you might want to update this week. And then I'm like, not really, but I guess I will. Because that's where I'm at right now. I just watched my... Okay, so we can just do comma body like this, and then do const HTML equals marked body, and then this HTML can go here, and then npm run dev. So we have that up, and then I can just hide that. Give us a bit more room on the screen. So now we need to set our slug.tsx. So in here, we need to boop-a-doop boop. Okay, so we're going to just do div dangerously set inner HTML equal to HTML post.html. Living on the wild side, everybody. Using dangerously set inner HTML. Okay. Apparently I've done it, and now I should have a blog. That does not seem to be the case. Unexpected end of file. That's always fun. So, oh, probably that. There we go. Whoever wrote this has got a wide 90s mixtape vibe. I don't know how I feel about It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion being in the same thing as Scar Tissue by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but it's fine. All right, so now we have a blog. Oh, we can do admin. Right now, our blog posts and typo fixes are tied to deploys. Well, that works and it's a simple way to get started. Ultimately, not much better to do no redeploys. I'd agree with that. So we're going to make a route here in the routes. We call this admin.jsx. And then we can pretty much pull this whole thing in as a copy and paste, but we can get rid of this typing and also this. And then we can word wrap it so we can see a bit better. So we're going to do an admin that's going to pull in all the links. Okay. And then we're going to add styles here in app styles, app, new folder, styles. And then admin.css, and I am not writing the CSS. If anyone has ever seen any of my work, I can guarantee you will not see me write a line of CSS. I guess that's not technically true, but I'll leave that up to the people who are experts. Import admin styles from styles admin CSS. Okay. Oh, now we're doing something I've never seen before. Something called link. Okay, so we're going to do, let's put a export const links equals function return an array of objects where style sheet, comma href, admin styles. Okay, that makes sense to some people. Each route can export a links function that returns an array of link tags, except in object form instead of HTML. So we use this instead of link, rel, style sheet, href, etc. This allows Remix to merge all of your rendered route links together and render them in the links element at the top of your doc. You can see another example of this in the routes TSX if you're curious. All right, so you should have a decent looking admin page if you go here. Yep, this actually may have been styled by me. It is about as good as my styles get, so we'll go with that. Let's fill in the placeholders with index route for admin. Hang with us, we're introducing nested routes. Here's where your route file nesting becomes UI component nesting. Okay, so this is a feature that I've heard about through a few different people that have used Remix before, so I'm excited to kind of get into this. So inside of, oh, I just closed that. Here We want to create a routes admin, and inside of that, we create a new file called index.jsx. And inside of that, we need to import link from Remix. Export default. Man, it feels so weird coding clean. Because everything's turned off for YouTube. When I code YouTube tutorials, I turn everything off. So like no helpers are coming up, which is weird. I keep forgetting to turn them back on. But I guess that's fine for this. Okay, so we have an admin index and we can return p link to equals new. And we're going to create new posts. If you refresh, you're not going to see it yet. Every route inside of app routes admin can now be rendered inside of outs rad admin tsx. Did I do something wrong? Nope. You can control which parts of admin tsx layouts the child route renders. Okay. Add an outlet to the admin page. Admin page. Inside this main, we need to add outlets. Okay. So outlet. And then inside our main, we can use this outlet. So we'll get there in a minute. Index routes can be confusing at first. Just know that when the URL matches the parent route path, the index will render inside the outlet. Okay, my mind is slowly being blown. Maybe this will help. Okay, let's add admin/new route. Inside of here, do new.jsx, and then we're going to do export default function new post, and inside of that we'll do an h2 that needs to be returned new post. Now click the link and watch the out. Okay. Oh, I broke it. There we go. Ah, that's kind of cool. I like this. Outlets are cool. We're gonna get something. We're gonna get serious now. Let's build a form to create a new post in our new route. Okay, so inside of our new, I'm gonna create a form. So apparently they have their own form handler. Don't see that very often. Import form from Remix, and then we'll do return for, wow, seriously, there we go. Form method will be post, okay, and then I'm just gonna grab this because it feels like a bit more than I want to type. So we got a title, slug, markdown, and then a button. If you love HTML like us, you get pretty excited if you're going to do a lot of form on submit and button on click. You're about to have your mind blown by HTML. All you really need for a feature like this is a form to get the data from the user and a backend action to handle it. And in Remix, that's all you have to do. Let's create the essential code to know how to save the post in our post TS module. Okay, so we have a submit here and a post. Got it. So inside of this post file, we're going to create a new file that's a synchronous function to create post, pass in a post, and say const markdown equals, actually just going to copy this template literal so I don't have to type this out. And then await fs.write file path.join posts path comma post.slug plus dot markdown, and then that returns get post.slug. Okay, so we're going to create the post and then immediately open that post. Nice. Call create post from the new post. Okay, so in our new here, I need to import redirect, import create post from post. Okay. And then we're going to create a export const action. So an action handler, okay, that has asynchronous. It's going to be request. And then const form data equals await request.form data. Oh yeah, that feels good. Const title equals form data dot get title. I will just copy and paste these because they are the same. Then await create post, and we're going to pass in the title, slug, and markdown. Man, this stuff is cool. Return redirect back to our /admin. Okay. Validate forms. Okay. I can validate forms with the best of them. We will just do this. Okay. So we're going to say if there's no title, errors.title, errors.slug, errors.markdown. Notice we don't return a redirect this time, we actually just return the errors. These errors are available to the component via use action data and just like use load data, but the data comes from the action of the form post. So then we can add in this action data. Neat. It should be use action data though. Use action data. And then thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. So we can do post.title and then errors.title. So if there are errors, we can just do an EM that says title is required. Otherwise, do null. And then I can probably just steal this and drop it in each of these. And we'll just change this to slug. And then drop in a slug here. And then finally for did I do that wrong? This one is different. Am I missing something? Probably not. Oh, because it's a text area. That's right. Okay. Markdown is required, and we put Markdown. And then we can save. TypeScript is definitely not mad for me because we don't have TypeScript. And then let's see. Test. Create post. Okay. Something didn't work. Posts.js. And then, well, hold on. Let's just do this. And then we'll make sure we're actually getting the right error message before I'm like, oh, there's an error message. And then there's no error message. But there is. All right. 34 return. Oh, return. Why did I think returns was the right word? Oh, it probably needs to be outside. Whoa, that was weird. There we go. Fixed it. No, didn't. I made it worse, but this time we actually got an error, which is kind of nice. Let's do. I imagine that's in this. Maybe I messed something up here. Let's go back up a little further. Use an action data. Oh, haha, yeah. That makes sense. Forgot to actually do the... Actually forgot to get this from the action. So now we should be good. There we go. All right, cool. That was pretty good overall. Like, there is some stuff here about, like... using transition, which I guess we could quickly do. We can add this to our form, hit save, and then use transition in our post. On the button type submit, we can say transition dot submission creating or create post. So we know if it's creating a post, this button will actually change to what it should be. So we need to take this and put it inside of here. And hit save, and now we should have transition is not defined because I didn't load transitions in. So const transition equals use trans. Now it should be there. Create post, and then if I do a new title, some sort of markdown. Wait. Title. Whoa, that broke it. I was so close to ending this tutorial. I was like, yeah, here we are, we're at the end. We can move on and try the more complicated one, but apparently I've broken it. And I imagine that's something to do with something in here. Well, no, that can't be true. The data argument must be a type of string or an instance buffer. So these should all be strings. Let's go back up. Okay, let's just make sure by copying and pasting, like every expert. Yep. Await, create post, and then redirect to admin. Okay, so that part is definitely the same. Let me just test. Still broken, but that is okay. It's part of the fun that we all come here for. So this is inside of... Here, right. Nope, not part of this. It is inside of here, I assume. Oh, hold up. What's good? I feel like this may not be right. But maybe. It's in our right file. Okay, here. Maybe we messed up our right file. That's possible. Right file. I can just pull this in. Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, I see the problem. I forgot to do comma markdown to actually send something, so now it should work. Ta-da! Cool, so that all now kind of works, and it all looks good. And here is our new post test. Perfect, we have completed the first of our challenges for the day, learning the basics of Remix.